feel like the sky is falling down. Ain't nobody here to play around. Push it to the edge, I won't back down. Cause it's time to go hard and go home. One way up, no way out. I give it all for the family. We stay up, no bailouts. Give it all for the family.
Alright guys, today we're going to be fishing on the Sabine River. I don't know if I'll be able to get any of the bites on camera, but because I am by myself. We're going to be targeting largemouth bass, spotted bass, white bass, blue catfish, and striped bass. I don't know how many of those we're going to catch, but we're going to try pretty much whatever bites the hook. There's another little spotted bass. Sorry, I got a message while I was filming, but another little spotted bass. Hitting the same bait, hit it as soon as it hit the water. Little pro tip, when using topwater lures, it is best to wait before setting the hook. I just had a fish come up and he hit it, and because of the fish coming out of the water with his mouth open, he's pushing the water. So he comes up, hits at the bait, but the water's pushing the bait out of the water. You set the hook, you know, you're not going to get the fish. The lure's going to come flying out the water. You know, the fish turns around and leaves. Sometimes when the fish comes up, hits, it pushes the bait out of the way. And if you wait just a second, and you know that the fish isn't on there, ideally you'll pull the line or keep reeling. And if you feel the weight, where the fish fighting, then you set the hook. If the fish isn't there, and you can see the bait still on the surface, or you feel the fish isn't there, and you stop reeling, bait comes back to the surface. If you twitch it a few more times, that fish may actually come back and hit at it again, and 9 times out of 10, that second time he'll actually get the bait. Got my little ultralight, using a little Rapala. Little Rapala original floater. We're going to see what we can get today. Right there. Alright, so this is just a little guy, but he sure nailed it. Let me see if I can get him off of here. Okay, even though he's kind of small, I'm going to show you a little bit about him. Now, this is a spotted bass. Now the main way you can tell that it's a spotted bass is if you look inside his tongue, in his mouth, on his tongue, a little dark spot. If you rub that dark spot, it's rough. A spotted bass has a tooth patch on his tongue, and if you're stopped by a game warden or something like that, that's generally how they're going to check and see what species it is. Check your local regulations. Here on Toledo Bend, there are no size limits on spotted bass. So actually that would be big enough to keep, but he's a little small for me. I need more to eat than that. That one hit right at the gun. Barely got that one. That one's a little bit bigger. Again, that's just a little spotted bass. They're a lot of fun to catch, very aggressive. Spotted bass are also known as Kentucky bass. Like I said, here on this particular body of water, there are no size limits. There is still an 8 per person per day limit. If that one's big enough, I think I'm gonna make him into a fried fish. He's gonna meet a hot skillet. That's just a lot of fun. As you can see, there's obviously a lot of them in here. Two on one cast. Quick release. Getting a bite on every cast. Do you think he wanted that one? About swallowed it. It's just a lot of fun. Every cast I'm getting at least one bite. They're really thick in here right now, eating a little thread thin shad. That's why I picked this color. It's silver with a black back. Looks like the shad that are running through here. May end up getting a largemouth, kind of unlikely, but we're definitely going to get some spotted bass. Well, size like 2 or 4, you know, shallow diving one. It's chrome and black. These fish are eating shad, so this is and this size. We're going to catch a few. I get a big old bluegill. Is it? You got a bluegill? Kind of surprised me there. That's a good hand-sized bluegill right there. Get a couple of pictures for fish brain. Alright, we're gonna let this one go. Okay, like I said, this is a yellow bass, not to be confused with a white bass or a striped bass. You might say, well, it has stripes. This is a yellow bass. I don't know if maybe you can see the color difference on it. You can tell along its belly it has a yellow tint to it. Has stripes just like a striped bass or a white bass, but a striped bass, as you can see with these stripes, a striped bass will be straight lines. It won't be broken up like these. A white bass will be completely silver, and this is actually about an average size. They do get bigger. My personal best is a little over 2 pounds. This is about an average size, and they are actually a fairly good eating fish. I'm going to go ahead and keep that one because there's plenty of them out here. That was 2 hits and 1 cast. Let's see what this one is. Another yellow bass. Huh. Something else I forgot to touch on with that last one. With these, I'm gonna get this hook out of his face first. It is very, very important to note They have very sharp, serrated plates on their gills that will cut the crap out of you. You know, you'll be grabbing them. They know that they got those plates because if you can watch, well, now they ain't gonna do it, but they'll puff up those gills, and those points, they'll stick you, and these gill plates, they will cut you every time. Well, we didn't get that hit on camera, but I've switched to a Rebel Popper in silver and black. This is a largemouth bass, but do you think he wanted to eat that? Alright, like I said, largemouth bass. This is not big enough to keep. There is a 14-inch size limit on largemouth bass. So this one's going to be going back. But it's always a lot of fun to catch bass on top water. You know, you get to see the hit instead of, you know, just feeling the line come tight. And you see that fish come up and smack it. It's always a lot of fun. It's also usually kind of handy to have a pair of pliers in cases like this where he about swallowed it. He didn't though. Just about though. I almost got the hook out. Open that backwards. Alright, there we go. There's one, a largemouth. Like I said, that might be 12 inches or so, maybe a half a pound. See, like I was saying, there's no dark spot, there's no tooth patch. Largemouth. As you can see, I'm definitely using a different rig. This is a bait casting reel, rod and reel. I prefer using these for, you know, largemouth bass, simply because with this type of reel, it's like a winch. You're going to, you know, really be able to bear down on the fish and get them in. I've got 8-pound line on here. It's Abu Garcia rod. I've had this rod for several years. It's a medium heavy. Pretty good for, you know, topwater baits like this. It's a good idea to learn how to use one of these, because they will come in handy. That's a little bit better one. Two of them. I had two of them on. Yeah, the other one came off. But I had another one on that back hook. As you can see, this is the one I just caught. This is a little oddball. He's got a hump in his back. He's really, really skinny. Mainly because he's blind in one eye. That eye is clouded over. You can see the difference. But he's definitely a little messed up, but he's still alive. That one, he's about 12 and a half, 13-inch fish. Alright guys, we're just fishing right over there. This is a hydroelectric dam, and so they sounded off the sirens, open up the floodgates, and we had to get up here on the bank. Now this water rises pretty quick. Yeah, I'm sure you can see that sign up there. We were just about underneath that sign when the sirens went off. After this water came up, we moved down the river a little ways, and sand bass or white bass started hitting pretty hard. So I tied on an Alabama rig with some chartreuse jig heads and gulp mud minnow grubs. And right before dark, I figured out how they're hitting these baits. You have to reel them really, really fast. And she got a pretty good one on right now. We got to see what species it is. Looks like a big old white bass. Swing him over. Oh, you got two of them. Look at there. That's why it was pulling pretty good. It was two of them. Yeah, you hold them up. Oh, you alright?
Yeah, I might need to edit me grabbing my boob. That works.
Hold them up. Now, these are white bass. Again, not to be confused with striped bass or or white perch. These have stripes, as you can see. They are kind of lightly colored right now. They've been out of the water for a little while. But this largest one here is a little over 2 pounds. I believe it's 2.2. And this was a yellow bass from earlier. Now this one has died already, so his color has changed a little bit. But as you can see, they're very, very similar. They both have stripes, both the same general shape, same mouth. But as you could see earlier, when I caught this one, he had kind of a yellow tint down in his belly here. That's how you can tell the difference. They're both decent eating. They're not, the yellow bass isn't the best, but if you're catching a lot of them, you can eat them. Now this other fish here, this is a smallmouth buffalo. Jessica, my wife, slash camera lady, caught this. Didn't get any of it on video, but it's got this red color here because it's kind of dried out a little bit. When they stress out, they kind of change color a little, but they're mostly a dark brown, silver, or black. I'll probably end up posting some pictures of it when she caught it. This one in particular is 11, I believe 11.4 is what it was. This is not to be confused with a German or common carp. They are German carp are invasive these are native species. They still have that sucker type mouth. Yeah, but like I said, these are native, so there may be regulations on them. I know most places a common carp does not have regulations. These are decent to eat. Best part would be the ribs. The rest of the meat, although it is white and flaky, it has a lot of bones. Now there is a certain way to clean this fish where it won't have, where the bones won't be that bad. I'm not going to be able to show you that because I'm not exactly the best at preparing this fish. I get by, but I wouldn't feel comfortable showing how to clean that and then someone try and copy me and get a bone in their throat. So if you want to, if you're catching these and you want to know how to prepare them, you might want to go ahead and look for a video on how to clean a buffalo, or any carp species for that matter, because they're all pretty much the same. Alright, hope y'all enjoy the video, and see y'all on the water next time.
Turns out my baby loves to fish. She wants to do it all the time. Early in the morning, in the middle of the night. She's hooked, and now she can't get enough. Man, that girl sure loves to fish. Now after that, that's all she wanted to do. That was okay, cause I did too. She always wanted to go down by the dam, and I love how she looks with that rod in her hand. If they ain't biting, she don't give up. Turns out my baby loves